Hi, Dr. Maharaja SivaSubramanian here, and in this video I'm going to speak about impossible stuff. A lot of times, like we get to hear this word, we get to think this about this word ourselves, our own selves, and at the same time we get to hear this word or listen to this word from others saying that, hey, this is impossible, that is impossible, this is impossible, that is impossible, you can't do this, there's no way you're going to achieve this, what you're having is just a dream, it's never going to become a reality. So why this whole thing of being impossible is, and where is it actually cropping up? Well, most of the times, 99.9% of the things that we think is impossible or are impossible are something, which can be made possible, which can really happen. Which can really happen most of the times. Yes, that's true. That's one thing. The second thing is, why do we think things like this as impossible? He has lost his life. It's impossible for him to bounce back and have a happy life. Oh, he's a failure. It's impossible for him to, become a successful person. He has failed in this class. It's impossible for him to study more. I hear it, from a lot of parents who bring their children to the counseling, and when they bring itself, they tell, or, they tell saying that, it's impossible for our children to actually get back to study. I don't think it's possible anymore. Business people coming and telling to me, hey, Dr. Maharaja, I'm stuck with this, and I don't think it's possible for me to come out of this. Well, if you have thought so, then most of the times you have decided so, then why are you coming to me as a client? Because then I will not be able to help you. There is no scope for me to help you because you have decided somewhere in your mind that it is impossible. So what is it about this impossible? It's a message for all my prospective clients, for my current clients also, to whom I will be sharing this video with, and also for people like you with whom I may not have even connected. But you have your dreams, but somewhere you are holding it back because it's impossible. You know of people who are holding their dreams back because they feel somewhere it's impossible. In that case, watch this video, share this video with them. A lot of things in my own life of whatever I have accomplished, whether it is with my physical health, whether it's my psychological well-being, whether it's my career, it's my finances, it's my educational background growth, and all those things, everybody, at least there has been one person in every stage of my life who has told me, Maharaja, this is impossible, you cannot do it. And that made me to ask a question, why do people come and tell me that it's impossible? And first, I used to get frustrated, I used to hate them, I used to hate myself, I used to feel bad about them, I used to feel bad about myself. Now, this impossible, it sort of brings a person's energy down and makes life miserable. And then, over a period of time, through self-inquiry most of the times, and also after speaking with people who had knowledge in those areas, like other psychologists, other professionals in different industries, I have come to say, hey, it's not impossible. It's just, I have not yet designed, or I don't know how to make it possible. You don't know how to make it possible. So the clarity regards how we can make it possible, that's missing. The second thing is, since there is no clarity, most of the time there is confusion and there is fear. When there is fear, there is anxiety, and all those things, confusion, fear, anxiety, that makes people feel it's impossible. The third thing, it's our past. Almost everybody have either failed or, had an unpleasant event or something bad happening to them in their life. Almost everybody. You tell me there are no people who have not had anything like that, then I will say either you're telling me a lie or you're telling to me a person who is living a cocooned life, in a shell life where everything is protected for them, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong in living a life like that, and at the same time there's nothing wrong in having to go through failures in your life, because failures at the end of the day are stepping stones, are chances for you to learn and become a better person. That's also a way of looking at it. And so when people have failed in the past, then they think it's not possible for me. Like when it comes to students, people bring students to me, and when I look at them, I just look at them that it's not a problem of IQ or it's not a problem of memory. They just don't know a better way of study. The way of studying, the way of memorizing, the way of answering the papers, or the way they are managing their time in studies or in exams, that's where the issue is, and that is what is making it impossible for them to achieve better grades. When it comes to people who are going through psychological trauma, or people going through frustration, they just don't know how they can make their life better. Or they've had series of incidents happening in their life where every time they tried, they saw another failure, and they decided, and it went on till such a level that they decided, now I'm not even going to try. Why? Because if I try, I'm going to get hit and I'm going to go through failure. So why should I try? This mental block, this limiting belief also contributes and making us think that like it's impossible. So if you have a dream and you want to realize it, and somewhere you hear this voice, this small little voice speaking within you saying that hey, it's impossible, or if somebody else comes and tells to you hey, it's impossible, ask yourself or ask them, inquire why so, why you feel it's impossible, and why and how and what you feel should be done to make it possible. Ask these 4 questions: why it's impossible, why it should be made possible, how to make it possible, what is required to make it possible. By asking these 4 questions, you understand what? First thing is, you understand what are the limiting blocks that is actually creating the friction, making it impossible. Next, you understand the reasons why you have to make it possible, why you have to get the goal realized, the burning desire, the internal motivation, the inspiration that will ensure that you've taken that effort, the necessary effort to make it possible. What will give you the clarity regards how you can make it possible, and how will give you a systematic plan, the massive action plan, the strategies, the systems, the resources. All these things will be answered when you ask what will it take to make it possible and how can I make it possible. So by this way, you expand your consciousness. This universe is consciously expanding, and in such a universe, a lot of things which seem impossible are always possible. It just takes one person who comes and says, I will make it possible. And a lot of times, you will be the person, I'm sure, that you wish is the person who makes it possible. So what is it that you would like to make it possible? And if you're feeling that it's impossible, ask yourself, why do you feel it's impossible? Work through those friction and limiting beliefs. Second, ask, why do I want to make it possible? Create a purpose within yourself that will inspire you, that will motivate you, and ask yourself, what will it take and how can I make it possible? That will give you all the resources, all the connections, and will give you the plan and will give you the clarity regards how you can make it possible. I hope this video tip, and I'm sure this video tip, will help you to maximize your potential, to make your dreams come reality, and will help you to become a healthier, happier, peak performer. I'm Dr. Maharaja SivaSubramanian, committed to your success. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.